bombshell news from the WRC service park this evening. Ott Tänak has issued a statement announcing that he is to take a break from full-time competition in the WRC. However, reading further through Ott's statement, it feels more and more like this could be retirement for Ott Tänak.
We've been talking about this for a month or so. You've had that sense, that feeling. You said it on Friday, Thursday, Friday. It felt like 2 years ago when all of the M Sport thing was bubbling and building in Chile at that time. Yeah, there's something has been coming.
You know, Ott Tänak is an absolute titan of our sport, the 2019 World Rally Champion, a man who, you know, he's battled away since then, almost to prove himself. He never needed to prove himself, David, because he did that in 2019.
But he wanted to validate it,
He wanted to validate
it.
He's been an angry man at times since then. But my goodness me, for the championship, to lose someone of Tänak's ability, standing, presence, character, it's a massive loss.
It is. There's no two ways about it. It's a huge loss. He has real presence, massive aura, intimidating aura at times, but he has speed and he has just ability to win championships. I think in some ways when he won in 2019, it didn't come easily. Nothing comes easily, but he won. He set himself up in 18 at Toyota. He was dominant in 18 in Toyota. It didn't quite click. It absolutely clicked in 19. He walked on water. Everything he wanted was there in front of him. Then he took this just unbelievable decision at the end of 19 to move away from Toyota, to move to Hyundai. And for me, that was where things began to unravel for Ott Tänak. Had he stayed at Toyota, he could now have been a 3-4 time world champion. And I think genuinely, he would absolutely have had that second title that he so desired. But it still doesn't detract Cole, you know, for whatever reason. And the reason we understand is it's spend more time with his family, which is absolutely, there is no greater reason. And we know that it's been talked about in the public domain that there have been issues with his family, with his lovely wife, Yannicka. That's a great reason to walk away, to go and do exactly what you want to do with your children and everything. But there is no doubt about this. It is a massive loss to the sport.
It's a huge loss to the sport. You know, he did make that decision in 2019 to move away from Toyota, and who knows what would have happened if he'd stayed. But it's almost as if he's been battling since then to prove everyone who's gone, boy, that was a bit of a silly decision to make. I've been trying to prove them wrong. And do you know what? Yeah, it's been difficult at times watching him, but my God, he's been entertaining. He's been entertaining, and we need characters in this sport. He kept everyone on their toes. He really did. You know, he entertained in the stages, but off the stages, he kept us all on our toes. And you know, you couldn't go and interview Ott Tänak if you weren't on anything other than your A game.
100%. And you know, you saw these incredible performances as well, where he belied the absolute performance of the car. He looked to Finland when he won. Yeah, you know, all of those kind of moments. It's hard to imagine another driver that has the fighting spirit and the absolute burning desire. And like you say, at times fueled by anger, just to get the car through the stage and to demonstrate to everybody that he was still a champion. I think, you know, it kind of rankled a little bit that Ogier was there. You know, the two of them are great mates. Yeah. But still, he wanted, you know, he'd learned his craft from Sébastien Ogier a little bit in 17 and 8. 17 M Sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he was essentially the student that wanted to beat the teacher, and he still wanted to do that. And I think he still wanted. I think when he made this final move away from M Sport 2 years ago to come to Hyundai, it was definitely, this is it. You know, I am going to win more championships. But he struggled at Hyundai once. His really strong ally, his great ally, Andrea Adamo, had left the team at the end of 2022. And it wasn't the same place when he came back.
You know, it was never an harmonious team that worked really, you know, to build a car for Tänak, for Neuville, to build a car for them both to win. And he was in a battle, an inter-team battle there as well. He was battling everyone else in every other team. Yep. Sadly, at times, he was battling within his own team as well. But David, I'll take you back 24 hours to the conversation we had this time yesterday evening on a podcast that we did, talking about who is still probably the quickest driver out there.
Yeah.
You know, a single stage performance driver, the quickest driver out there. I back Tänak, and I still
Yep.
do. And it's hard to believe that a man of that ability is walking away from our sport. But I absolutely give him full credit, as you said.
Yeah.
You know, he's a principled man.
Yeah.
And again, the thing that I've said about Tänak, yes, he's driven me up the wall at times, and yes, I've locked horns with him, and yes, I've thought, yeah, I don't like you. But at times,
you might have even run away a little bit.
And I might have run away once or twice and said, David, you take the mic, you go and interview him. But what I know about Ott Tänak, and I've said this many times on record, is the guy has got a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
Yeah.
This demonstrates that. This demonstrates that he could have taken a bucket load, we understand, of cash to stay at a Hyundai next year. Who knows? He might have had a chance at the title. But no, he's gone off to spend time with his family. And that, for me, is the true Ott Tänak. It's not the really angsty Tänak that we're so used to seeing. That is the true Tänak.
I think as well as that, though, Col, it absolutely, the family aspect of it, he's got a good business that's really building with Red Grey. That's coming along nicely. He's an astute, very astute businessman. He's building an empire in Estonia and potentially further, which is fantastic. And that's great. But, you know, I think we cannot overestimate. You're absolutely right. From what we understand, Hyundai offered him more money than they've offered any other driver probably in rallying.
And I'm telling you, we understand that is many millions
absolutely.
of euros.
But the bigger thing that we've got to remember here is that he was faced with another season in a car which he just does not know what that car's capable of. Yes, he's talked a lot about the evolution of the car, and he's teased us a little bit, Ott Tänak. You teased us a little bit talking about how the EV car is getting quicker and looking good for next year. It is looking good for next year. Sadly, you're not going to be driving it. But I think that has to play into the decision that he knew, really, he knows deep down, that car is not going to give him the chance to fight for a world championship next year. That's played into the decision.
Absolutely. Do you think this is the end of Ott Tänak with rallying?
No.
As you mentioned, Red Grey there, 2027 regulations, all sorts of opportunities perhaps coming. Do you think we'll see him back? Is he taking a year or two out? What do you think?
He absolutely has retired, but I think absolutely there's every opportunity for him to come back. He's not. He's still in the prime of his driving career. He's got probably 4, 5, 6, 7 years still, and his pace is absolutely there still. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't come back. He will not turn his back on the sport. He couldn't. Rallying is deeply embedded in his DNA and in his soul. It's what Ott Tänak's about. He loves driving. He's a sensational driver. He's got a great opportunity to drive some great cars. It's not the end of Ott Tänak by any means in the sport.
A nation will mourn, David. They will mourn. He's the biggest sporting superstar in Estonia.
We were talking to our Estonian journalist friend today. He said by a long, long, long way, nobody comes close.
No.
Absolutely nobody. So, this is bombshell news for us. But for Estonia, it's just, it's bigger than anything. It's David Beckham retiring from football, Johnny Wilkinson from rugby. It's massive.
And do you know what? We only have to look back a few months to that glorious day, that glorious Sunday afternoon at Rally Estonia, where Ott Tänak led the World Rally Championship. It appears for the last time. Folks, absolute bombshell news. Let us know your thoughts below. Yes, there is a lot more to talk about here. There is the fallout and the ramifications for the championship, for Hyundai in particular.
Yeah.
Who do they turn to for next year? But let us know your thoughts on the Ott Tänak situation. If you've got any great stories, put them below. We'd love to hear those. Any pictures of Ott Tänak over the years, we'd love to see those as well, folks. DirtFish will bring you the most comprehensive analysis and coverage of this breaking news story. But if you want the best in-depth coverage, Club DirtFish at Patreon is the place to be. Click that link up there and go through, have a look. There will be plenty on this breaking news story at Club DirtFish on Patreon.